Hola amigos, hello friends. I know it's been a while, but we are back. And in today's episode of Recipes by Kat, we're making chocolate chip cookies. We are continuing our journey following all of the recipes from Dora's Recipe for Adventure. And in the third episode, they make chocolate chip cookies. Chocolate chip cookies are a classic, and I was excited to make these. My favorite type of chocolate chip cookie are mixed with like oatmeal and walnuts or some type of like nutty flavor. So typically I would go for a chocolate chip walnut cookie, but after a poll I did on Instagram, you guys wanted to stick to chocolate chip cookies and not oatmeal, walnut, none of that, just a standard chocolate chip cookie. So the recipe that I use for my oatmeal chocolate chip walnut cookie is from a website called Smitten Kitchen. So because I still wanted to highlight them because I've been using that recipe for years, I found a recipe on their website for a simple chocolate chip cookie and it looks fantastic. I will add the link below and put a little picture here. This is the chocolate chip cookie that we're going to make. Let's get cooking. And first things first, preheat the oven. I have it preheated at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. The first step is to cream together the butter and the sugars. And we're gonna use our stand mixer for that. This stand mixer I've had for a really long time. I actually got this as a wedding gift. This part is a little broken. I still use it. If KitchenAid or Cuisinart wants to send me another one, I will gladly accept. So we're gonna use 2.5 sticks of unsalted butter. Any type, any brand of unsalted butter will work. And make sure they're at room temperature so it's easier to mix. So we have 2 sticks and we're gonna cut this one in half. Perfect. Butter is in. Now for the sugars. We're gonna add 1 1/4 cup of light brown sugar. All right, we're gonna add this one. And then we're also gonna add 1 cup and 2 tablespoons of white sugar. Do 1 and 2. We're gonna add our spatula beater thing here. We are going to mix. You know, I don't even know what to say. Let's just tighten it up a little bit. I can't believe that happened. That's okay. It's okay. Let's try this again. It seems tight. There we go. Woo! I'm like so nervous. All right, I feel like I have to hold it. Oh, and I didn't have it on the lock. It's been a while since I've baked. So it says to mix together until light and fluffy. I'm gonna raise up the speed a little bit to 4. A little faster. The music and the podcast too, the Dora's Recipe for Adventure podcast is so good. So if you haven't listened to it yet, go ahead and listen to it. Share it with the little ones in your family or with your friends that have little ones. It's really, really so fun. I think we're good. Let me open it. See, now we're gonna unlock it. That's pretty good. I'll take this off so I can okay. Perfect. Now we're gonna add the eggs. So we have 2 eggs here. 1 and 2. And we're gonna mix to combine. Almost forgot that one. So it also says to like do 1 at a time. I think both are okay. Probably 1 at a time is best, so follow the recipe. Next, we're gonna add the vanilla extract, which I have right here. And we're gonna add 2 teaspoons. This is a fresh bottle. It smells so good. And we can add it in while it's mixing. 1, 2. And because I love vanilla, I'm gonna add an extra one in there. I've done this before in the past and I think it's okay. It doesn't really change much. It won't ruin the recipe, I don't think. Boop. Okay. So a lot of times, like in a stand mixer, things get stuck around the edge. So we're gonna actually turn this off for a second and scrape down the edges. Neat. You see? I'm gonna scrape them down like that, so then it can all mix. All right, let's continue mixing. Next, we're gonna sprinkle the baking soda and the baking powder. And we're going to pour 1.5 teaspoons of the baking powder. I always get confused when we're using baking powder and soda. I have to make sure I'm doing the right measurements for each of them. 1.5. I didn't really sprinkle it before, did I? Well, there we go. And then we're gonna do 1.25 teaspoons of the baking soda. I'm gonna sprinkle it. And then 1/4 of a teaspoon, which I have right here. Perfect. So let's sprinkle some salt. This is 1 teaspoon, and then 1/2 teaspoon. Perfect. And now we're gonna mix it until it's fully combined. Okay, now let's get the flour ready because that's what we're gonna add in next. And we're gonna add 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Oh, and plus 2 teaspoons. So we're gonna add the flour all at once. So let's lift this. So we have 1 cup here, 2 cups. Woo! It's a lot of flour. I'm like afraid to mix this. 3 cups of flour. Okay, so that's 3.5 plus 2 teaspoons. We're gonna close this, lock it, and we're gonna do little bursts. Oh, here we go. Woo, woo. And second burst, third burst, fourth burst. All right, you guys get it. We're just gonna, woo! It's working. I need to add cinnamon. I just feel like with vanilla, chocolate chip, if the recipe doesn't call for cinnamon, I'm gonna add it. So let's add some. Whoa, this is hard to lift now. Probably should have done this with the flour. So if you're gonna add cinnamon, add it in with the flour. I think that's good enough. Just smells so good. Okay, here we go. Okay, we don't wanna overmix it, so I think that's good. And now we're gonna mix in our chocolate chips. That's 565 grams. How many grams are in here? Little bag is 20 ounces and 567 grams. Perfect, we're gonna put the whole thing in there. I feel like that's a lot of chocolate chips, but now we're gonna mix it in and trying not to break it. And I know we're not mixing chocolate, but we're mixing chocolate chips, and I feel like the only appropriate thing to do is to sing. Bate, bate, chocolate, bate, bate, chocolate, mix your chocolate, chocolate, bate, bate, chocolate. If you were singing along, you're a real OG. I can't remember if it was in this episode, but in the podcast series, we do sing a version of Bate Bate Chocolate. It's not the same, it's a little different. And I wasn't sure how I felt about it at first because I'm so used to singing it this way, but it grows on you and it's actually pretty good. It's definitely like really catchy. So for this recipe, it is a specific recipe and it's inspired off of another famous recipe. Just to chill this for 24 to 72 hours or longer if you want, which we don't have the time right now. But because there's a lot of dough in here, I think I'm gonna do a batch right now, taste it, and then I'll leave the rest for 24 hours and bake that and see if it tastes any different. Grab my baking sheet. I'm using a really large cookie sheet because these chocolate chip cookies are pretty massive. So if you have a large one, I would recommend using that one. I'm also gonna use my food scale just so I can get the size right based off of the recipe. Well, it says 100 grams. Let me wash my hands first. Let's see how many grams this ball would be. Oh, that's 96. So a little more. That's 106. Maybe I'll take out the chocolate chip cookie, but leave 104. 101. That's good. One down. More to go. So I'm only gonna put 6 on here because they will grow to be really large and I don't want them to hit each other. I don't want them to touch each other. And then for the last finishing touch, we're gonna add some sea salt flakes on top. I couldn't find these in the store, so I ordered them on Amazon. Gonna sprinkle some on top. Okay guys, we're ready to bake. We're gonna bake them from 12 to 17 minutes. So I'm gonna start it off with 12, check on them, and then if we need to put it longer, we'll leave it in for a little longer. The kitchen is clean and the cookies are ready. So after 12 minutes, I did add another 2 minutes and I think that should be enough. And then we're gonna leave them out and have them cool down. These are really massive. Maybe wait about 10 minutes and then we'll come back and we'll try them. Chocolate chip cookie, that sea salt there. Whoa, look at that chocolate. Time to taste. Wow. Really good. Really rich. Wow. That's good. With a glass of milk or a scoop of vanilla ice cream. So good. And that little saltiness from this flaky sea salt. Really good. Highly recommend this. So I have the rest of the dough in the fridge, wrapped. And tomorrow we'll bake that and see how different this looks and how different it tastes. All right, see you then. The cookies are ready, guys. Wow. So good. I don't taste that much of a difference within leaving the dough chilled for a few hours or 24 hours. So just make them. Right when you're done with the dough, just start baking them. Almost kind of like it better. Thank you guys for joining, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch out for any future videos. And also comment and let me know if you try this recipe. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Adios. Bye, guys.